Hi, I'm Julie Dundon. I'm here again to talk about managing your weight. As we know, there are many people that are trying to lose their weight, and we try lots of different ways of doing that. People sell lots of different products. It's a huge industry. But the bottom line is if you want to lose weight, you need to put in less and you need to burn up more. The energy balance determines our weight. For some people who are trying to gain weight, they need to put in more and burn up less. But for most of us, we need to be moving more and eating less. That sounds very simple, but we know that there are lots of different pressures on us to eat more. Serving sizes are larger, we eat out, we're socialising. So there's lots of different reasons why we eat more than we do. And to do less, our whole society is based on doing less and having different machines, cars, washing machines, dishwashers, all of those household items and goods really reduce our activity. We get in the car to drive to the shop 2 blocks away, whereas years ago we would often walk. So to increase our exercise is one way, increasing our activity is one way that we can actually help control our weight. So if we try and just increase our incidental exercise, so we take the stairs rather than the lift or the escalators. We park our car further away from work, so we have to walk an extra block or 2. We get off at a bus stop 1 or 2 stops earlier each way so that we have to walk. Any way that we can increase our incidental exercise so it becomes part of our daily routine will always help our weight to be controlled. When we try and lose weight, I often see people who expect to lose 1 kilo every week. 1 kilo of body fat. Do you know how big that actually is and what that actually means? Most people don't know how big it is, but to show you, perhaps for those that don't really like the look of it, but it's just to show you how bulky 1 kilo of human fat looks like. It's very large. It's very large. So when you lose 2 or 3 kilos over 2 or 3 months, we're not talking about small amounts of weight. The volume is quite big. So the best that most people can do is to lose about 1 kilo or maybe 2 kilos in a month. Don't expect to lose 1 kilo every week. It's very difficult to do. But that kilo of fat is equivalent to about 7,700 calories. So to burn that up, now thinking about exercise, you'd have to do 48 hours of housework. And of course you don't need to do 48 hours of housework without stopping. But if you did that over 48 days and kept eating the same, you would expect to lose that kilo. 27.5 hours of walking can burn up that kilo of fat. And again, you might do a half an hour a day for 54 days and you'd lose that kilo. Jogging or swimming, it takes only 15.5 hours. So the more intense the exercise, the more your heart rate, the more your heart needs to work, and the more fat you will burn up and the more energy you need. But just remember, lots of little bits of exercise certainly adds up. So instead of walking for 27.5 hours without stopping, you might do 15 or 20 minutes. And you might do 15 or 20 minutes 2 or 3 times a day. And then that starts to add up. And we know that that type of exercise is as good as doing an hour or 2. So if you're not able to exercise for an hour or 2, one, because you physically can't do it or you don't have that window of time, you might have 2 or 3 15 minutes during the day that would work as well. The Heart Foundation recommends having 10,000 or taking 10,000 steps a day. And how do you measure that? Well, we have little pedometers which are relatively inexpensive and they can clip onto your belt or your waistband, and that can measure how many steps that you do in the day. And that really does give a good idea just how far you've stepped or walked in the day. The most important thing is whatever exercise you do, you look forward to it. Don't think about exercise as being a chore. It needs to be fun, something you enjoy. So choose something that you enjoy or you were good at in the past. So if you were younger and you used to do a lot of swimming, and you haven't done that for a while, pick it up. You know that you're good at it. If you like bike riding, you always rode your bike to school and you haven't done it for ages, start bike riding. But don't do something that you really dislike and you really don't want to do, because it will be very short-lived. You're very unlikely to continue to do that. If you love walking, you might even find that at work you can walk for half an hour with one of your colleagues. Get outside in the sunshine, or if it's cold, put a coat on, you'll soon warm up. Join a bushwalking group, or even you may be into golf, maybe playing some golf. Even energetic gardening, and really doing something, you might need to dig something up, something that's really been pestering you for a while, and really get busy in the garden. Even learning to dance can be fun and something you can do with friends and really get that heart rate up as well. So the bottom line is that you need to do some exercise, do it regularly, do it in small bursts and enjoy it. One of the other questions I often get asked is, should I really be eating breakfast when I'm trying to lose weight? It might be something that you've never really done before, but we know that by having breakfast, it can really help your concentration. By mid-morning, you can start to flag, you don't concentrate so well. We also know it can really help your metabolism get kick-started for the day. So also think about breakfast as being an opportunity to get those food groups in, and if you don't get it at breakfast, you need to pick them up somewhere else in the day. So it's easier to have that healthier eating pattern and include all your food groups if you include breakfast. You're also less likely to crave sweet foods or junk foods. Those blood glucose levels don't get too low leading into breakfast, and you're less likely to have really sweet foods. It's an opportunity to have whole grain foods that are high in fibre and provide good sources of protein with the milk, and milk and yogurts are great sources of protein and calcium. So having those combinations of foods at breakfast really can get that wider variety of nutrients. If you don't have time, think about making a smoothie, the fruit, the yogurt. You can even try some chia seeds in there, and it's fantastic to really fill up for the beginning of the day. So how do you know that you've got your weight is in the healthy weight range? The BMI, the body mass index, is calculated as your weight in kilos divided by your height squared in meters. So if someone was 70 kilos, 70 would go on the top. They might be 1.75 meters, so it's 1.75 by 1.75 divided into 70 kilos. So that would give us a BMI of around the 24-25 mark, and that would be in the healthy weight range. So 20 to 25 is a healthy weight range. Anything above that is considered overweight, and once we start getting into the 30s, we start classifying that as obese. So how do we look after our weight? As I said earlier, there's no magic bullet. People try and sell us all sorts of different products to help us lose our weight, but the bottom line is moderation, exercise, move more, and eat less. So we need regular meals and snacks. We need enough food from all the food groups. We need to make small, sustainable changes, things that we can continue to do. The quick fixes, yes, you might lose the weight, but it won't stay off. Set a goal weight that you can achieve. So you might even aim to lose 5% of your body weight. And we know that a lot of the medical problems that we have, or a lot of the health problems, can improve by just a 5% weight loss. And if someone was 100 kilos, we're talking about 5 kilos. So it's 80 kilos, we're talking about a loss of 4 kilos. So these are very, very small weight losses, but they can have a significant impact on your health. Don't weigh yourself every day. You're not going to see a kilo come down in one day. It's going to take a few weeks. So you might think about weighing yourself once a week on the same day, at the same time of the day. And if you're really stuck, get some professional advice. See an accredited practicing dietitian to get that individualised advice. We can look at how you're eating, when you're eating, and what you're eating. You also need to think about where you are at. Is this just something you're thinking about? Is this something you really want to do? And just how motivated and how much of a priority is it for you at this time in your life? And we know those stages of change can occur, and they change throughout your life. If you're frantic and busy looking after a young family, or you've got some stresses, it's probably not the time to try and make some massive lifestyle changes or even small lifestyle changes. So when the time is right, it's the time to sit back and set some small goals and achievable and sustainable lifestyle improvements. So we all have setbacks. We all have times when things don't go quite to plan. We might have been tempted to have more to eat or not exercise as much for the day. So we need to put that behind us and say, okay, today's a new day, and move forward and really get that healthier lifestyle as part of your lifestyle for most of the days. I hope that helps a little bit to sort of enlighten you about weight management and trying to lose some weight. It's not easy, and there's no magic answer. Bye for now.